I know people. There we go. All right. And we're live. So we'll give it a few minutes to see. We don't have, can you see up there the bar for the viewers or you do? Okay. I didn't know if you got that.
No, I don't see the bar for the viewers. I just see the live comments.
I gotcha. Okay. All right. So we have two people on with us. Hi, everyone. Let us know you're here.
But they're watching together.
Yeah. I think Jennifer might be a little late this evening. She's probably busy at the shop. I know they have a lot going on there with just reopening the last couple weeks or so. Just want to welcome everybody. Please, when you see the link wherever you are on whatever one of the groups that this is streaming from, you have to give StreamYard permission so we can see your names. You only have to do that, I believe, once, and then every time we'll be able to see your name, so we're not just getting viewer or
Facebook user.
Facebook user, yeah. So we'd like to be able to put a name with your comments, so we're not calling you out. Well, we want to call you out too, but yeah. So let us know and just say hello. Michelle is here this evening from Arizona. Jennifer will probably be joining us from Chicago soon. And I'm here in New Hampshire. So we also have a special guest who is joining us tonight. And wow, I'm going to have a full team here tonight. Hold on, let me get her in. We are adding Chrissy Neumeier Smith to our conversation this evening. She has got, here she is. Hi, Chrissy.
Hi. Oh. Hello.
There she is. So I was just doing a quick introduction. For those that don't know Chrissy, she is our newest on the floor instructor at the Academy and has been doing fantastic. Chrissy is also a certified dog trainer. Did I say it right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Certified professional dog trainer. Yep. And certified behavior consultant.
And a behavior consultant. And I think, is that what you're going through, Michelle, the behavior?
Yes.
Yeah. So we just wanted to talk a little bit about the differences in the certifications that are out there. So we want to give another minute or so for Jennifer, or do you want to start, Michelle?
Let's get started. I think you have the agenda, so just start us off.
Well, yep. So we were just going to talk about, and correct me if I'm wrong, we've got a number of organizations that are having certifications for groomers, which, as we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, that a certification is a course of study, and you get your certificate at the end, but then you are certified as that professional, as that master dog groomer, as that professional dog trainer. But that certification process is lengthy. It is lengthy, time consuming, costs you money. It's not free. You do have to spend a lot of study time. You have test taking. So it is rigorous. No matter which way you go, it is a rigorous course of study. Part of it also means, with our organizations that are doing this, you have to maintain your membership to keep that certification. So if you don't renew with the organization, then that certification becomes null and void, and you have to start the process all over again. Now, that's not, I don't know if everybody has that same perspective of it, but that's that's where we're going. So that's what we're going to look at tonight. So we've got the one that I'm more familiar with, besides the National Dog Groomers, the International Society of Canine Cosmetologists. I get all my letters confused. I should have written them all down. And actually, I do have them, but I don't have them on my other computer. We've got, help me out here, girls.
National Dog Groomers Association of America. You've got International Pet Groomers.
IPG. Yeah. NDGAA, ISCC.
Yeah.
The cat
You
grooming
gotta
ones.
put their full names though. That's where we all get
Yeah.
confused. All those full names,
Yeah.
the letters, but
The
So
International
I think-
Professional Groomers, the National Dog Groomers Association of America, the International Society of Canine Cosmetologists.
yeah.
Oh, see, now those are the ones I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, so, and I'm sure
You're forgetting all the cat academies and cat
yes,
institutes.
I was
as well.
just
Yeah.
about to
Fine
say
bodies.
National Cat Groomers.
Yeah.
I know AKC
Yeah.
has some sort of a certification. I know there's also another one that I'm familiar with it if I look at it, but it's fairly new as well.
Well, there's the AKC Safe certification.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you
Well,
don't
then
have
there's
to be
also
a
Fear-Free
member.
Grooming.
Mm-hmm.
But those aren't memberships. Those aren't from
Well,
organizations
certifications.
that,
They're certifications.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay,
And then
but they
within
don't-
those, there are differences as far as membership and
right.
dues and continuing education and things like that. So
So I'm not sure if those necessarily fall under the certification criteria because it doesn't fit the definition.
So what is the criteria of certification?
Certifications? Well, they have to have that membership. You have to be a part of that organization.
Mhm.
So,
An
or
organization
it's
could be a body
overseen.
of your peers, correct?
Yes. Well,
Yes.
I guess, yeah, okay. I'll go with that. All right.
Lawyers man the board.
Now,
The medical board is all doctors. On and on.
okay.
Well, it's a parallel in
Electricians have
the dog training world.
Mhm.
And there's a parallel in the dog training world. It's a very similar industry in terms of that. So, but the certifications that I have for training, I'm not a member of that group as much as I continue the continuing ed and pay into recertification fees with continuing ed.
Are
Right.
you
So
a member of
that's the same.
IACP, Chrissy?
No, the Certification Council for Professional Dog Trainers is what I have mine in. But very similar to dog grooming, there's IACP, APDT, the very similar process.
Mhm.
Does the Fear Free, is that a testing one?
Yeah, Fear-Free is, they do a certification test and they give you some continuing ed. You have to renew every year and have the continuing ed.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's it.
And I have the groomer one and the trainer one.
And the trainer.
Is there
Okay.
a practical to the Fear Free?
No.
So that it's online.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's interesting. And it's like 8 hours.
Well, I forget. I don't
I'm
know.
trying to-
I get my hooks into those and I just write until the end, so I don't remember how long.
Yeah.
I wish I had the time to do
Get
that.
it done.
Yeah. Now I know that we talked the other night about what was it, the international boarding pet care professionals. I'm a member of it. It's another long one. IBPSA.
Boarding and daycare. There's boutique.
Oh, okay.
There's
There's so many.
yeah.
There are a lot
There's
of
so
them.
many. Yeah.
And it becomes really difficult to figure out where I can spend my money to maintain my grooming education and my training and behavior education and not pay everybody $200 a year.
Or more, depending on
Or
which
more.
organization it is. Yeah. I know,
Yeah.
like,
I think it depends on what your focus is too in your profession. Like you are multi-trade. I'm
Yeah.
also multi-trade. So you have to figure out how you mesh all the things that you want to work on into one thing. So
Yeah.
it's like you have to pick your package. Pick this. I got this organization or this certification or this diploma from this because it helps me maintain my insert word here. You know what I mean? So whatever it is that you like, some trainers do dabble in show, some, you know what I mean? And they handle
Yeah.
and they don't groom. Some groomers train and don't show. Some groomers groom and show, but don't train. So, I mean, depending on what your interests are, you can find governing bodies to get your certifications and maintain them and have a nice blend of what you're looking for.
yeah. So see, I go the other way. I do all the business.
Mm-hmm.
I like all those business certifications.
Mhm.
I
Yep.
want to know as much about running and growing the business as possible. So that's where I focus versus being the grooming aspect of it. And I hope that, Cindy, my business partner, Cindy, who runs Grooming by the Sea, she does all those other certifications for us. So that I can focus, because there's no time to do it all. You have to pick and choose. So
Yeah.
it helps us balance it out, that we're getting kind of the best of both worlds. I mean, you get the best of both worlds when you can do that. And I mean, Michelle, we forgot that the holistic pet groomers are kind of working towards one too. That association.
That.
So
I think what's interesting about the Holistic Association is that we are, and I am a board member for full disclosure.
So am I.
Yes, and so is Tara. But it's interesting, and the reason that I like participating in that association is because we're trying to fill the niches that are not yet touched, and then we will actually accept other testing for our certification, depending on what it is. We have a list, but it's a broad list, so it will be easy to get a holistic certification, because we're trying to make a holistic, mindful type of education to go forward. It's not just how crisp can you do that poodle. It's, man,
Right.
let's really find out what's going on behind this stressed out animal, and help it have a better time, have a better quality of life, in all aspects. So that's what holistic is. So that's why I like that particular certifying body and that certification. It certifies that you have been mindful and filled in all these pieces and have a well-rounded perception and idea and education about the grooming industry. So.
Yeah.
Does anyone on have any questions about any of these, or anything to add to it that we're missing? Because there are a lot out there.
I'm going to insert this while we're waiting for questions. I think that it's important to realize the link between all of the certificates that we get in all of the seminars that we go to and the various meanings behind them, and that can be discussed at a later day because that's a whole conversation. But a lot of people, there's a faction that says, oh, those certificates of attendance mean nothing, and they do and they don't
They do.
at the same time.
Yeah.
All
Right.
the way up to the ones that tell you you're a certified something, those mean something also. But as we head toward standardization in the industry and head toward licensing, it is going to happen. So that I would love for everyone to be as prepared as possible. Those little pieces of paper taken by themselves really don't mean a lot, but taken for all the years that you've had all these seminars and experience. If I tell someone, oh, I've been grooming for 35 years, they only know that I've been washing dogs and maybe scissor and stuff for 35 years. They don't know the depth to which I've gone to understand the canine mindset and skin conditions and all this. They don't know any of that. But if I say I've been grooming for 35 years and I present this portfolio of my certificates and before and after pictures and recommendations by veterinarians, and all of this together is the body of my work. It's your portfolio. And every single groomer should have one. Every trainer should have one. Every business person should have one. That is your resume, especially when you're dealing in styling and things and intangible services. You need to document every thank you note after you've saved a coat or helped a skin issue. That is a record of a client saying you did that thing, and then you should have a before and after picture, and you should document what exactly you did to do those things. That is a proper portfolio. So when you go to your next employer, when you're talking or teaching to someone else, you can show them that you are who you say you are and that you do have the skill set to do those things. And ultimately, this is something that you can take to your state organization that helps them understand how strong you are in your commitment to your craft. These things are all important, and that's why these certifications are important. Save every little paper you get, even if it's just, hey, I was there and it was 15 minutes and he talked about shampoo or whatever it is. That's one more piece that you can prove that you've been there, you've learned it, you've listened. You spent time. All those things are important when all these things are going to happen legally to your business. So.
No, that's
Yeah.
great, and
Yeah.
that's why going to the expos and you got a lot of hearing, oh, it's the same thing over and over again, but they do a really good job at bringing in new, and it's only as they can only bring in new as much as new is coming in. If there are more people out there that are doing things different or have other ideas and it's working for you and you want to show the world what you're doing, then jump on board, because they're always looking for new. The industry is thriving off of it. I mean, Chrissy just started speaking last year, and she and just has brought so much newness in what she's done through your podcast too. It's just the give and take. It is you are in, like Michelle had said, two different worlds in two different
in fields that don't talk.
Them.
Industries that don't talk. It makes no sense to me why groomers and trainers and veterinarians and stuff, we don't talk.
That is the whole foundation of what we're doing here. That is our statement. Jessie Ray says, I've seen a lot of grooming jobs stating that they require certification. However, they don't list where or what they expect certification to be in. So her question is there one main certification, or are they looking for some sort of formal education? So I think my opinion would be that they're just looking for some type of commitment to your education. You know, did you just order a clipper off of Amazon and you've been doing dogs in your bathtub, for 2 weeks? If that's all right, I mean, that's okay if that's all you've been doing, but say so. And then if they're looking for certification, then they're looking for something to show that you've attended a course, that you've had a mentor, that you've worked at a vet, that a vet can attest to your skill or your handling abilities or something. They're just looking for some type of commitment to your education.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we got Facebook user, tag your name in there. Sorry, but we'll see it after the after the streaming. But notice that the same speakers have new things they learned since the last time. Well, even speakers jump into other speakers' classes, and we do, because we're still learning. So it's nice. I mean,
because we have a passion for it.
Yeah, I'll give you an insider look at it. Sometimes a speaker will be ill or can't be there for something that happened in the family for whatever reason. They might call anyone on the docket and say, hey, can you fill in for such and such? So you're in there, and sometimes you're just scrambling to read through the information and say, okay, do I have enough to make this work? And then you go, okay, yeah, I'll do it. And then you're doing it. And in doing that, in teaching that new subject, you open up a whole new world for yourself, because you get asked questions, and that's how you learn as an educator.
Yeah. Wow, those are good. Hi, Kelly. Kelly's one of my graduates. She posted on there from a couple years ago. Yeah, I love jumping into, if I can. I mean, it's really hard when you're, for speakers also, when we're at trade shows, and some of us are working in booths and running from one booth to another and speaking and talking and socializing, and we can't make it to a lot of the classes. So then we meet up after and try to get things going and talk about the classes. I know I try to, but it's a very time. I know Hershey Groom Expo is one of the hardest shows to work. It is. It's the best show, but man, it is a long weekend. It is. I'm hoarse.
That's the one I got my feet wet at as a speaker.
Yeah,
that's on too hard.
Yeah, you did. I remember, because you kept coming up to me. Are we good?
I'm like, I'm nervous.
I'm like, don't be nervous. You're only going to have about 50, 60 people in there. Yeah. Jessie, I would definitely love to see vets, groomers, trainers join forces. Yes, it's important. I know. It is important. It's hard because I think vets may have a bit of a PTSD against us. So they're kind of,
And vice versa, I'm sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
trigger shy or whatever you want to call it to jump in with us. And it's hard unless you have a real strong personal relationship. And there are so many vets, and there's a lot of groomers, and all of us are probably mostly trying to vie for the same people. So it's hard for them to split their reference to start referring to us too. They don't want to. I know at least here our vets are like, well, we love it, but we don't want to always be referring to you, because then we might burn bridges with so and so down the street. So that is a tricky situation too. But none of us like being.
Well, like I'm trying to help vets and vet staff understand more about the grooming process, because if we can teach dogs to be good for grooming, they are much better for the vet, but not necessarily reversed, because grooming, we spend so much time with them. We run them through so many different processes, and a lot of vets don't understand our process, and so therefore they're telling owners like.
And I think that's where the downfall is. And I think a lot of, especially early on, groomers learned a lot of their handling techniques from kennels and veterinarians. So it became a very efficient way of handling animals, but probably not the best way for their spirit. So we have a lot of unlearning to do over the course of the years, as well as fresh new learning to find techniques that are more successful and not just last resort, just get it done. I can do it, I'll just get it done. You know, instead of, hey, let's really try and reach this individual on their level with communication and respect. We can reach them better. Proper communication and respect of their body. Imagine being small and just being picked up and pushed around and prodded and poked and sprayed with water, you know, and then go to the vet and have the same thing done. And then if there's kids in the house, that's an attack. This whole dog's life is attack, 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 touch, 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 without any permission whatsoever. So if we communicate and respect their body, you will almost see a 180-degree turn in almost every animal you work with. Oh my gosh, they're listening to what I say. Oh my gosh, they're respecting my fear of my feet being touched. That is so important. That's part of it. So as far as training goes, for me, that is the basis of everything I do in fear recovery.
But there is a difference between fear and them being just spoiled.
No, yeah, well, yeah. But it's
so I would say that
never been taught any differently.
Any different, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I would say that a dog that's having trouble on the table is having trouble. They're not giving you trouble. They're having a hard time. So if you look at it from a perspective of how can I help this dog either feel more comfortable physically, maybe they're just not well built or they're sore. How can I help them, you know, alleviate some of the stressors in the room? Maybe that's a matter of what tool I'm using or how much noise there is or how long I work on that one spot, you know, but to be thinking about the whole picture and circling back in a way that helps them think, that wasn't so bad. That wasn't so bad. And by the fifth time, they're like, yeah, pick this thing. It's been dangling there for a week.
Yeah.
And just to kind of gently move along through the process. But I'm a training geek, so.
I'm probably more interested in the training aspect of grooming than I am in the grooming itself. You know what I mean? Because when you start working with animals on that level, they teach you how to be balanced, because you can't be anything else but that. They teach you how to be calm, because without calmness, nothing's getting done. They teach you everything you need to know to be a balanced, solid citizen in your heart. And to get to touch them and to get to see the light bulb go off for them and have them trust you is probably one of the greatest gifts I have ever received on this earth. So it is
I gotta say,
truly...
when you take a dog who was afraid and then at the end they're giving you kisses like, like I did my job today.
Or when they're beautiful and their parents come in and they cry in your lobby because they've never had a haircut that is beautiful because they've been so fearful for so long. It's I cry with them. I'm like, I know, right? It's so exciting. So
Yeah. Jesse had another comment about going back to vet and speakers. Do we have any vets at the expos that speak in regards to skin and health, or at the expos, or is it just always grooming speakers? So no, there's a good mix. I mean, it's not just always grooming. They do pull in some other people from other professions too. So we do have, I mean, some. I'm kind of drawing a line
They
there.
call it a mix. There's
Yep.
several veterinarians that I've seen over the years speak, so they keep it fresh. There's trainers that have come in and spoken. There's like dental veterinarians that just specialize. There's sometimes they get a dermatologist to come in and do a subject. So I mean, it's every once in a while you'll get some. And I know that right now there's a couple of vets that are pretty regular. So no worries, you know, I think you could get a decent education preliminarily at a grooming expo if you did just class, and really went for the education. So, I mean, it's an experience. Depending on where you are, if you want to save up your pennies and go to one of the best ones, just save for Groom Expo. You know, if you're going to do one, do that one. I would say.
Yeah, it is. It's the largest in the country. It's totally worth it. But it is expensive, and it's tough to get to.
Mm-hmm.
Not really an easy way to get there,
Right.
but
I mean, put your toe in the water wherever you go. Absolutely. If there's one that's close to you, do it. And then find other alternatives. You'd be surprised at how many online classes there are now. I mean, there's a ton of stuff out there. Pick and choose, shop around, see what's out there, but just get to learning, improve yourself as much as possible.
That's one thing I definitely always try to encourage everyone that comes through the school is to do that. And it's disheartening for me as setting this up that not all of them do. So how much should we expect to see from the expos? It depends on how much you want to shop.
Yeah. I mean, depending on where you are, your travel expenses and boarding and food, you should figure into that first. And then you want to look at what the ticket is for the all weekend pass or whatever and figure that in. Mm-hmm. Then, of course, it's the trade show. So, I mean, pick something that groomers use and there's 80 booths.
Yeah.
For that. So
and then food.
I think there's
food,
like
drinks.
100. Yeah. I think Groom Expo actually has like 160 or 180.
Well, Terry, depending on where you go, though, I mean, it just depends on your travel. So I'm going to say maybe 3,000. Does that sound reasonable? 3,000? Is that a high figure for just the education and the board and travel?
No.
If it's one you don't have to fly to, I think you can do low. But
yeah, I'd say
that's a good budget for it.
Yeah.
I will say, I think like when we stay for Hershey for a room, I know it's never under $1,500 for a room. Mm-hmm. Inner Groom is a little less expensive. Pasadena Pasadena usually costs me more than Groom
you go all the way across the country
because I'm traveling from one seacoast to the other. Yeah, so that does put a hurting on the bank.
So
and usually
what is their all education pass? Isn't that like any Barkley show is right around 500 or so?
5, 6, yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
An average of 500 for the all weekend pass for the education, and then whatever your travel arrangements and your food should be. So that would be your expense.
Yeah.
And I really feel we should all be going to them.
Mm-hmm.
We should all be continuing it. One of the things that really worries me about the grooming industry is that it's not required at all. Which means that if I did have one of those certifications, the many certifications we listed, if I got that back when I did my apprenticeship in '92, I could have literally just been paying my dues every year this entire time. Mm-hmm. Like we should be going to continuing ed and learning new things. And especially if we want to be having people in the business for 40 years. Yeah. Or however long.
I think my suggestion would be to get certified with one of the certifying bodies as soon as possible. It doesn't matter which one. I would go IPG, I would go National Dog Groomers, I would go ISCC. Find one that you like and do that.
Yeah.
Just get one, because that shows you have been reviewed by your peers. And that certification matters when it comes time to legislation, when it comes time to get licensing. I think that matters more. There was a discussion in Facebook that said, oh, it doesn't matter if you get certified or not. The client doesn't care. And I said, my clients care because I have it posted on my wall and on my front door. And that is a huge selling point for the people that come to me. You know, I have very specialty high-end clients that come to me and want me because I'm certified. And there was a young lady in there that said, well, you know, I got certified and nobody cares if I'm certified or not. I'm like, well, you have to market yourself. You know, you have to really show them what being certified means, you know, and then they'll care about it too. If you don't care about something, how do you expect other people to care about it as well? So that's just a marketing issue. But as far as your education, you should know all the things you need to know when you get certified by one of those main bodies. And then you should go further, because that's not a whole education. It's just your foundation. So.
And things change.
Absolutely.
Even if you are totally up to date at one point, things change.
No. And it changes quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Science changes, product formulation changes, new information comes to light every day.
Equipment differences. I mean, holy cow, clipper vacs, and you know, when I started the blower dryer,
you don't know.
New viruses.
Yeah.
But you should be excited about learning.
Yes, I think that is. It's tough though. It's tough to juggle everything, and I think that's where we kind of start slipping through, is trying to juggle life. If you're a business owner, we're doing running the business, running the family, everything that's going on, and just finding the time to do everything. And that's one thing I think we've heard, and we saw in our survey that we put out, that a lot of people don't go to expos because of the cost, because it is expensive to go, and they don't necessarily feel that they might be bringing the knowledge home that they're putting into that. And, you know, even if you're going and not taking classes, you're still talking to groomers. You're still attending that. And if you get something from that in itself too is value. It's not going to be as much, but the baby steps. It's a baby step.
I think even just walking the trade show floor and discussing products with the booth person who is knowledgeable about those products will open the door to thinking. So you'll start thinking, oh, is this product baloney? Why is it baloney? Or is it great? And why is it great? And why is it better or not better than the 2 booths down? So, I mean, that is put your thinking cap on just when you're talking about the things that you use while you groom. So
touching your shears, feeling and being able to pick up a set of shears at a show and have the opportunity to play and feel it, or picking up the weight of a new clipper versus another clipper, those are, you know, instantly what it's going to feel like in your hand. I got to touch stuff. I like touching everything. I want to feel, I want to smell it.
I think we're very
Jesse asked another question. Jesse asked another question, wondering if certifications expire. And most of our grooming ones do not, as long as you're continuing to pay your dues and continuing to maintain it. The dog training ones, some of them do. I chose the ones that do expire if I don't have enough continuing ed, because I think that's so important. So it's nice for me to have something that says, no, you have to do the continuing ed. But most of the grooming ones do not expire, but you're encouraged to just keep continuing. And they're assuming, I think, that if you put your money in and you're paying that every month, you're also keeping up to date. You're getting their newsletters, you're getting their information.
Trainer? You know, are you a practicing groomer? I mean, if you're doing that every day, you're practicing. That is your continuing education of your practical. but there
Yeah.
will be periodicals and articles and testing, and there should be other information coming in that is fresh and renews what you know.
Mm.
Yes. How do you maintain your certifications? That's kind of what we've been talking about. All the organizations all have their own protocols.
Membership
So it's
dues.
Yeah, their membership
Keeps you
dues.
current.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like a plumber, every year in some states or every 2 years, they have to actually go and retest to refresh their certification or their journeyman's card. It's the same type of trade situation. So we've modeled, not we, I guess, per se, but we as groomers, but in the industry have modeled those certifications, on the foundation of all those other trades that have that type of testing.
Yeah. AKC Safe does expire. New updates. Oh yeah, so that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So simple membership and working. Yes. Yep. That's it.
Yep.
All right. Well, if there's more questions, we'll hang on for another minute or so. We are over our half hour, which is not bad. We're at 36 minutes. Love the countdown. But exciting news. Michelle and I will get to do this show next week live together. So Michelle is coming and flying out from Arizona on Sunday, and we'll be spending just about a week at the Academy with us. So we are going to absorb as much as we can, having her working at the shop with us and being on the floor. And Jessie, she's going to be there. So on, and this is for Jessie Ray. She's one of my grads guys. Very proud of her. She is, Michelle's going to be at the shop on, what did we say? Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So if you want to stop by and can get out of work for the day, come by. And any other last minute, we need a topic for next week. We can throw that out a little later. Let's think on it. But it might be a little more fun to do something that happens during the week, or who knows what we'll do. Jessie.
She'd love to.
I know that she's celebrity.
I don't know what that means.
You don't know what that means.
I'm just a
We're
groomer.
really excited to have you come into the school.
No, it's gonna be fun. I love it. I love doing that. I love sharing grooming stuff. I love it. Yeah.
Yes. Well, we missed Jennifer tonight.
Yeah.
We will get her back on next week, I'm sure. She'll jump in and comment, I'm sure, if she can. And we'll have her, maybe I'll send her to do a quick one on her own this week and get her her input on this as well, so that we're not missing out on her, because we know we don't like missing her. But I'm
No,
sure
I think
Yeah.
there's really a lot of good insights into this particular subject as well.
she does. Yeah.
She's been a teacher
Yeah.
for forever. She has written curriculum. She has an inside look at education and licensing and degrees and all of that. So I mean, she is so valuable to this cause. Absolutely. So
Yes. Yeah. Keep that baby in there. So, Jessie.
So
That's right. Jessie's like literally right on the verge of.
be a mama.
All right. Well, we were wrapping
we'll do that quick and make it to the shop.
Yeah,
So one more thing, that since we're talking about trade shows, hey, if any of you guys haven't been to a trade show and you're just worried about it or you're super, super shy, come find me. If I'm there, I will totally hang out with you all day. I just really love hanging out with groomers. I know for some people that's their scariest thing, is they don't want to go to a trade show because they feel like they won't know anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about that.
And if you're on by yourself and nobody wants to talk to you, so come along at the trade show and make some new friends. You don't know.
Yeah. Don't let shyness make you not go.
Right.
That's
Just
true.
do it
Yeah.
anyway.
And there are a lot of dogs, so you can always make friends with dogs too.
Mhm.
Oh, sitting and watching competitions is
Oh,
awesome.
okay, yeah. We haven't even got into that. Oh my God.
Wow, yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to hang up tonight. we will talk with you guys next week. Stay tuned for our topic, and I will hit Miss Jennifer up for some input and send another live stream out, maybe if she's got another day. So Michelle, if you want to join us, if you can,
Okay.
we'll maybe try another one so that we don't miss her and all of her fantastic input on this as well. All right, everyone, have a great night, and we will see you soon. Happy grooming.
Bye.